Hey, Charlie, go fuck yourself.
Coming up on LinuxGameCast Weekly, Valve launches early reviews, Distance sorts the menus, Tesseract invades Linux, and Unreal brings the jam. Then we throw the chairs at Ascendant. All this, plus your hate mail. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. This week is no exception. We have Enhanced Steam, A Fistful of Frags, UT Gets Soundy Thing, and Cubes or something. I never heard of them. Joining me every week, my inimitable co-host, J-Man, all the way from Canada. He's a sweet little fuzzball of a man who randomly gets naked. And that noise. Clean cut, as ever, from across the pond, P-Man, Pedro Mateus, the giggling death. Cleanly shaved, look at that handsome.
What's where you're pointing that thing?
I know, right? Noses everywhere. And joined by Shot Realm Dynamic, and together we make up a bit of a cocaine Voltron. Before we get started every week, we like to play a bit of catch-up. That's not a condiment, giggity, but it's a chance to see what's been going on in each other's lives. How was that Gisela movie, man?
Didn't watch it.
Oh.
Sad face.
Oh.
Yeah, but on the flip side, I have some time in a sensory deprivation chamber booked for later this week, so I'm going to trip balls and report back to see what happens.
P-Man.
There needs to be video
of what goes on in my brain, because we have that technology.
P-Man.
And for me, I'm going for my third interview this Monday with those guys on the other side of the freaking country. So hopefully this will be the one. Hopefully.
Hey, Ven. Last week, didn't you drive the length of Pedro's country to do a job?
Right. So you can understand Porto's about. We can fit it in multiple.
It's about area size. It's about the size of Ohio.
States or province.
The state.
Over here, yet again, nothing terribly exciting to report. I'm starting to tinker around with learning how to build hybrid rocket engines. To some new to the show, they're just like, well, that's quite a shock. The other people are like, your neighbors are going to get pissed off at you for a whole new thing. And I was like, yes, they are, because we know the natural conclusion of these things look interesting. How do I do that? How do I do that? And eventually, basically. So before we get started, we got a bit of a PSA this week, right, gentlemen?
Yes, we do. So these guys who are making some sort of Road Rash remake, that's a lot of R's, called Road Redemption. They're building their game on this well-known engine. You might have heard it. It's called Unity.
Never heard of it.
No, and you know how really Unity has this severe limitation of only working on one operating system.
Look at this. It has. There we go.
It's gone.
It's gone. Dear Lord. What happened?
I found it again. I already had a cached copy. Mayhem and Chaos. This was from Root Game, and these guys were talking. They're going to build a Road Redemption, Road Rash series. If you ever played that, back in the day on your Sega CD or your Genesis or your 3DO or anything like that, it was fun. You smack the hell out of people, and you give them the business. But we're looking at this. I mean, you can play now for $33.99. What stinky cashes? Look, we got a window, we got a Macu, we got a big one. But, it was successfully greenlit and kickstarted. And they said, you know what? Yeah, this whole alpha thing, even if you backed it at that tier, and we should be giving you, because it's a fucking Unity game, a little bit of early access to it. Yes, yeah, that's only on Windows, so suck it. All I
It's Carmageddon all over again. Except this time it's worse, because it's a Unity game.
But at least you don't have to wait a year for concept art.
Yeah, that's true. All I got to say to that is roadredemption.com. Steer clear of that until we actually see a Linux build of that business.
Aren't they just a bunch of whores?
Speaking of whores, how you doing, babe?
Speaking of whores, check out LinuxGameCast.com so we can whore ourselves out even further. Click on the forums buttons and join Chat Realm statically linked with any goddamn account you have. You can sign up with your Google or your Facebook or your Twitter or whatever. It all works. It's all good in the hood. And of course, you can check out youtube.com/LinuxGameCast for all our weekly debauchery. We got players, how-tos, Solid Stone's lovely monologues. He reads Shakespeare for the children. It's great. And of course, we have our Facebook page run by illegal migrant workers. And we're up to 114. We gained 2 whole likes.
Crushing
Crushing them. And of course, for all the Linux gaming news, how-tos, and whatever the hell you call it, go to reddit.com/r/linux. And this is the important part, _gaming. Not Linux gaming, _gaming. And of course, legions of small children turn a giant wheel in Ven's sub-basement, which provides the power and the bandwidth for this train wreck you're watching every week. But, if you want to contribute, maybe help us afford buying some more children to help push that wheel, you can kick on over to our podcast page. We got some donato buttons. Recurring donation gets you a producer's credit, gets you access to our show notes. You can see the sausage as it gets made. And one-time donation will still get you on our glorious Linux Gaming PC Master Race wall of shame up there. And so you can show your friends you make poor financial decisions. Speaking of poor financial decisions, Sven, I hear you like hosting websites.
I enjoy hosting websites, but they're difficult to afford. I mean, who can afford a web... Oh, that's right. Snappy can help you with that. With HostGator. These guys help us pay the bills. Unlimited web hosting, 20% off, unlimited disk space. Check this out. Snappy's even got a business fro. So he's all about that. One click.
Business mullet.
Business party. 4,500 free web templates, 99.9% uptime. And you can call these dudes, these ladies, and whoever at 3 o'clock in the morning, pissed drunk, saying things like, I want some pizza rolls. They even get the joke and they say, yes, Ven, how are you doing? What's wrong with your website? It's already fixed. Boom, live people. Love that. But we switch back, they're giving that away. It's a steal at $3.96 a month, 20% off. But you know what I gotta say to that, J-Man?
No. Enlighten me.
Okay, I'm just going to enlighten you. In our offer code, LGC Week, FTW, you know it's a good offer code because it's seizure-tastic. At checkout, and you will receive not 20% off, nay, a full 25% off in your face organ. You cannot beat that deal unless you're trying to shoot elephants, which Snappy does not approve of. So, J-Man, how's that horse been up to, man?
It's grown. It's like some sort of elephant-sized horse. Gotta worry about the GoDaddy guy shooting it down. But it's our Steam
Linux
update of the week. Achim. All right, so this is something. This is out of our games. This goes beyond the scope of Linux gaming and into the more general gaming realm. But the gist of this is Valve has started tagging reviews of games that are in early access as early access reviews, and this has sparked off a huge discussion about the implications of this and what they should do and what we would like.
It looks like somebody is taking the artwork from the Vin Stone School.
Yes, the MS Paint School of pointing at things. But essentially, the long and short of it is, if you write a review for a game that's still in early access and then it becomes released, some of those complaints may not be valid. Now, I'm not sure how this will contribute to the whole issue of, games saying, oh, we're early access, and then staying that way for 2 years. But, I'm sure it's a good thing. There are some comments in that Reddit thread. You can go check that out. The links to that will be in our show notes.
I'm looking at it. I think it's definitely a way to distinguish, because if you think, hey, that's an early access game, then you get games like Earth, which was clearly just a BS thing, and you let people comment, but it will help you differentiate, 20 years later when they actually release and they've realized they can't milk any more money out of the community and publish it. That just goes for a few people. I'm kind of looking like some rabbit things. P-Man, you got any thoughts about this?
Yeah, this is not to qualm the fact that some games just go into early access and never seem to come out of it. This is to help shut the early access fanboys, those idiots that will defend selling an unfinished product until their fingers rot and their brain melts out through their nose. Maybe, just maybe, now they won't have much of a reason to complain about people giving early access game negative reviews, even though they deserve those negative reviews. Now that those specific reviews are branded as early access reviews, maybe they'll shut up, maybe not.
Now, there's also, if you read in a bit of the discussion, there are some interesting things like people saying, oh, maybe they should, in the version that review is for, link to the patch notes or link to the release notes so that you can see if issues have been fixed since seeing that review. It's a very interesting discussion. I highly recommend checking it out. It was a good toilet read.
J-Man, why don't you zoom?
While I'm going through that, I came across this guy, enhancedsteam.com. So this is kind of neat. This is a Firefox and Chrome plugin that makes the Steam website a little better. It will list it makes it more apparent if games are early access. It basically a whole bunch of enhanced features. Let me read them off the website like a complete fucking schmo. Highlight games you already own. Highlight games on your wish list. Point out third-party DRM in games. Find out how much you save on a bundle. See bundle pricing history for each game. See how much you've spent on Steam. It's completely free. It's a one-click install. It's just a browser extension. But if you spend quite a bit of time on the Steam website, this might be worth your time. And I thought it was cool, so I threw it in the show notes. But then it's time to ascend.
That's a liberal use of Ascendant, what is it? We've never heard of it. Ascendant is the unforgiving beat-em-up in which you are a demigod, I guess, invading a world controlled by your rivals. Choose your fate by discovering blessings, equipping mighty weapons and spells, and learning to survive. How much does it weigh? And 10% off currently, normally $9.99 wet sticky moon caches. You can pick it up for $8.99. This is something, if you know about, let's say, Shank, Guacamelee, Dust, anything like that, you're immediately going to go, oh, right, I've played this before. But then again, this one has its own interesting mechanics. Let's see, partial controller support, which I'm going to argue with it, because for me, the controls didn't really cock up. Local co-op, I would really like some online multiplayer business for this. P-Man, I know you got some thoughts on it.
Yeah, just the one thought. Right smack in the middle of its Steam store page, there's a link to GOG.
They're tempting fate, aren't they?
Well,
seriously,
it comes as a DR. Well, you got to give them some credit for that, because there's a DRM-free version available. So good on them
for Windows and Mac, since GOG doesn't support Linux yet.
Well,
you know what? They might push it out through the Steam client, and then you can just take your game out of the Steam apps directory, drop it.
If they did that, sure.
But yeah, really, this is like Dust or Guacamelee on a budget with Warsart. But we're gonna talk about that even more in the review section.
Probably, but first, let's talk about the last Tinker.
No, last Tinkertum.
Trademark. City of Colas. You misspelt it, and this
they're American,
right? What would you say it looked like? Some game that you remembered from billions of years ago, J-Man?
Yeah, I kind of get sort of a Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter vibe, which is what it's saying. It's very much like, I like that style of platformer. You know, the whole Super Mario 64, Mystical Ninja Gomon 64, sort of run around, do whatever the hell you want platformer. So I might check this guy out.
I'm looking at it.
It's a Unity game, but those system requirements, they're conservative for a Unity game.
I was looking at the system requirements for this the day it showed up on the Steam store, and I'm like, Ubuntu 12.10 LTS? What the hell is that? But then they go recommended quad-core processor, graphics, shader 3.0, 1 gigabyte VRAM, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 770. What? This is a Unity game. If they're recommending a 770, I wonder.
So you're saying that you need a computer made in the last...
No, I like how the
Yeah,
minimum
apparently.
lists like a 550 Ti as. Ben had 2 of those render box before we switched over to the 670.
So that's the thing. What's it going to clock in at? Is it going to break your wallet? That's a...
16 bucks, 17 bucks.
For what the game looks like, and if it plays, because we've seen some shite Unity ports, but if it plays decently, 20, it's a very fair price, because it looks like a lot of work has went into that business.
You can still tell it's a Unity game, but it's not using all those stock Unity assets.
Yeah.
So what's up
But
next?
you know, they may just be the paragon
But
of
up
Unity
next,
games these
we
days.
have the Space Sandbox procedurally generated simulator number 1,287,623 on Steam. And its name is Paragon.
Wait, so they gave Vincent one an HD texture pack.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Or a retro booster.
But yeah,
Ooh.
this is a very early alpha.
Uh-oh,
according...
You just pissed off Terry, man. He's gonna find you. He worked for NASA. He can he can build a hybrid rocket and launch it at your house.
So-
Hi, NSA.
Yeah, but no, actually Retro Booster was pretty decent.
What's this
This
game? I've
one-
never heard of it.
It's a very early alpha of a procedurally generated space sandbox. What this does differently from the other space sandboxes that have been showing up on Steam recently is this one is, wait for it, single player only. Controller support? What the fuck is that?
Well, it's not like they're pretending. Like, no.
Yeah.
Well,
And so I'd like to propose a new drinking game. Whenever a new game shows up on Steam and the store page contains the words procedurally generated, you finish your drink.
Ladies and gentlemen, P-Man would like to kill our entire audience. LGC
coming up
cares.
next week on LinuxGameCast. Nothing.
At all. So this clock's in at 10:04, 33% off, and just what I'm looking at, no.
And early access, no controller support, no multiplayer.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
eh,
it's,
stick
at
with
this
it.
point, it's safe to
but-
guess this one a pass, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. I bet I got a fistful of frags.
Fistful of fucks, more like it.
Everyone's got a fistful of frags because it's free.
That's right. This kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, this is
It's,
basically
cheap as
a
free.
Half-Life 2
Wild West
mod.
deathmatch.
It started being just a Half-Life 2 mod, and it's a Source FPS with the cowboy Wild West theme to it. Now it's a standalone. It's its own game right now, and there aren't a lot of Source shooters about which I can say I suck at. This is one of them. I am terrible at this game. It's kind of hard, but it's fun. It's also very fun. I like it a lot.
But you got to understand, I mean, anything that comes out for free, all the 9-year-old YOLOs are like, yeah, I got a game. And they have billions of hours to do that. But speaking like Source shooters, especially with, the deathmatch idea is I've never been comfortable with deathmatch on the Source engine. I don't know what it is. I could never put my chainsaw on it. But this is good, free isn't free. And initially I was watching, I fired it up, played it, and I was like, oh, what is this? And I had escaped in that Half-Life Source engine box pop. And I was like, yeah. All right, so that's a thing. Free to play, multiplayer, cross-platform multiplayer, stats, includes a level editor, which is neat. You don't need too much business to run this, just a dual core from Intel or AMD, clocking in at 2.8 gigajoules and 2 gigajoules of RAM. So that's definitely a thing. But I think it's time to let our horse ride off into the sunset, J-Man.
Trample on as, we wave it goodbye for this week. Coming up next,
Dun, dun, dun.
we go the distance. We go for speed, and we go for music.
We're going the distance.
Something about a time of
We're
need.
going. We did let the horse go, and the first thing we did was sit down and start licking his own balls. So how about we get into some actual news this week? Shall
No,
we?
I want to go back. I want to go back to the ball licking. That's fascinating.
Lies! So this comes
Let's
up.
not.
Pedro's favorite game that he can play, Distance Alpha.
Fuck you.
Yep, it's brilliant. I'll just take a little look at the video right here. Got some oons. It's parkour for cars. It's brilliant. Cats and boots. I mean, it's basically fucking baked. But I'll give you a little preview for, the $70 backers that actually get to download this in the official forms. It's the mid-May mini update. What does this include? Reworking the menus, which I noticed. Refine some of that temp artwork. We'll scroll down here if you're watching the video podcasty of thingy. It's like random shit, no textures and all that. They're sorting that. And finally, one of the last things, they are improving the oons. Now, if you didn't initially back this at the 70 wet stinky cash, you can still get into the beta, correct, P-Man?
Yep, you can still buy into the beta. If you go onto their website, you can give them $15, and you'll get a key to access the forums and to hopefully download the beta through Humble and get your Steam key once the beta is available, which it currently is not, and I'm pissed.
Up next, monster sounds.
Yeah.
More
So,
boobs and
nothing's
cats.
been confirmed yet, but this Polygon.com article, you can find the link in our show notes. It's basically saying the original composers for Unreal Tournament have come forward and said, hey, it'd be kind of cool if we got hired on to do the new one. And the guys from Epic are like, sure. And all I can say is, awesome. I love Trent Reznor.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I mean, we know that UT, we talked about that last week. It's going to be completely free to play. I mean, not even like freemium, but they're going to allow people to, release mods and stuff like that you can buy into, which is a brilliant business model.
Epic gets a cut.
And, P-Man, I'm not going to steal his thunder in that. And I was like, yeah, it had sound, but I don't really remember, having a raging chubby over it.
This is the
Yep.
Trent Reznor song.
It's nice that the original composers
But
are
it's really
coming
awesome.
back, but I can't really say I remember any of the Unreal Tournament music. I
No,
always
because
muted
I
it
had
as
Winamp running on the other.
yeah, as soon
My-
as
my
the
own
electronic cacophony they had as a background music for the main menu started, I immediately muted it.
I was running Exima Mass, you heathen.
I really don't know what that music was all about, but I'm sure someone in chat realm will let us know.
No, that's definitely a thing. Good to see that. I mean, if you...
Nothing's really been confirmed. I feel the need to stress this because the article title is a bit hyperbolic. But everyone, all parties seem to be interested.
You never go
And
for Phonics.
now for, I don't know, Floss.
Mutant Gangland is free,
Floss,
but only as
children.
in freedom. This comes from freegamer.blogspot.com. You can find all this business that we've been talking about in our show notes. What is
Like I
it?
said.
Mutant Gangland is a nice-looking turn-based strategy game that just happened to have all of its code released under the MIT license, which you might be familiar about. MIT, baby. This project is attempting to follow the classic free software game business model where you share the source, but what's it about? I never heard of it. Anybody play this?
No, but I like if you scroll down into the comments section, there are people complaining that the art assets need to be completely free libre open source as well.
Of course they do.
Because Stallman would cry.
I mean, it would make his toe jam taste funky.
Yes.
Oh,
But yeah, it looks very what's the word for it? Right. 2D hipster pixel graphics.
Oh, this is fucking Advanced Wars. I played this on my freaking Game Boy when I was a kid. This is Advanced Wars.
yeah.
But Floss. Granted, Advanced Wars was actually pretty fun, so...
this might be. Check that out. Mutant Gangland
It's like $4, I think, and it's on iOS, Android, Linux, Windows, and Mac.
$3.99 for the asset, since the code itself is free. Speaking
you
of
can check out their
free,
GitHub.
Stunt Rally
Speed
2.3.
Go Speed Race. Just go Speed Race.
Go Speed Race.
The over on wheels.
For those of you who don't know, you clearly haven't been on Linux for long. This used to be one of, if not the only, Linux racing game that existed before the Humble Bundle was a thing.
P-Man, you were not kidding.
Rockstar.
I remember when this started life as, a Windows-only thing, and I ran across it, and I was like, I could help with it. And fortunately, other people was like, yeah, we're on it. And I was like, phew. But it's like the rally racing that works with wheels.
Yep, it works with wheels. It was the first Linux game to actually trigger the force feedback on my Logitech Wingman Formula Force. You're good on them for that. But they're back with update 2.3. They include 7 new tracks, 27 renamed old tracks, and they've added a bunch of new things for the editor, the level editor. You can now pick window terrains, game tab with track settings. They have a new test blend map if you push F9 while in the editor. But for the game itself, they've renewed most, if not all, the tracks. They've given them a new look. They put in the new texture, including the things they added to the editor. Some new grass, because that's what a racing game needs, is grass. And
at least it isn't Unity grass.
There's now a better sorting tab for the tracks. So if there's that one track you actually like, which is my case, and you always have to struggle to find it, now you can sort it a little better. They've disabled parallax because it never worked. They also updated their wiki, and they gave some dynamic camera bouncing and boosted fuel depending on track length. Nice.
So what?
So let's just continue reading the release notes to the lovely people here.
Right. It's a fun game. Personally, maybe this is different with Wheel. I mean, it has an advanced fuck you mode, but it has an arcade mode. I even find the arcade mode a bit fuck you hard with a controller, but yeah, it's all right. I like it. It's still very shiny for an completely open source game. Give that a go again. But Blue Raja with the forks over here is going to throw some logic in your face, Organ.
Oh, yeah. So you remember that? No, not the metal band. You remember that movie with David Hewlett, McKay from Stargate Atlantis, had that awful sequel, Cube. Well, there's a game based off it now. It's called Tesseract.
There's actually a movie called Tesseract. It's about a drug dealer.
That's fucking fascinating, Pedro. Thank you. But this is based off of if you've been on Linux for any number of years, you must have heard of Sauerbraten, one of the billion or so FPSs on Linux, one of the higher profile ones at least. This is based off, but they've given it a bunch of nice graphical tweaks. They have a nice little map editor thingy. But yeah, no, they're you can download. I don't think they have a 0.1 just yet. They have nightly builds, and you can go to their SVM and build it yourself. And yeah, there's not much to say about this other than go build it and play it and see if it's your thing.
The game, Tesseract, is a first-person shooter game focused on insta-gib deathmatch and capture the flag gameplay, as well as cooperative in-game map editing. The Tech Tesseract. It's a unique open-source engine because it's all the forks, Cube 2. P-Man.
Yeah, it is. It's at this point, it's basically a fork of Cube 2 with better shading.
I just said that.
And while the shading looks nice, the gunplay is still a bit meatless, floaty. If you played Cube, any of the Cube iterations, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like you shoot a gun and it feels like you're, I don't know, shooting spit out of a straw.
And coming up next, watch us shoot spit out of a straw as we review Ascendant, the game. Look at that one. Oh, we're back. And we're throwing chairs at Ascendant, yes, from Hapa Games, which I recently found out is a derogatory term, meaning half a Japanese person, or half Japanese, half white. So there you go. It's a Unity game. You can pick it up for $9.99. It's on sale until however long. You can check the Steam page. Well, until May 22nd. So yeah, by the time this show comes out, it'll probably be off.
What's it about?
Sale. But it is an unforgiving beat 'em up that challenges you with a new world each time you play. It utilizes a number of modern roguelike elements such as permadeath and procedurally generated environments.
Finish your drink.
And you can find this at hoppagames.com. Make with the chair explanation. So if you haven't been watching our crazy review system, here's a quick primer of what's going on. 1 chair score means that it's complete shit. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. And 4 chairs means shut up, take my money. I can't stop throwing my wallet at you. And of course, we have our categories: Odoo, mixed working, shiny sounds, control, and fun. And we do some crazy mathematically averagey whatchamacallits. And we come up with a final score that we deliver to you, lovely people, to tell you whether or not to buy this game for Linux.
But we're testing it out on multiple systems and all that, right?
Yep.
No, we're all using MacBooks here.
Oh, right. That's brilliant.
Fair enough.
But mixed with the working, then how did this thing run?
I threw this on one of our systems, and that system happened to be our render boxing Ubuntu 1204 LTS 7770 powered system of business. Nothing to report wrong. Normally, as has been going on, when I see a Unity game, I'm like, yeah, right, that's either going to run good or it's going to make the damn thing vibrate. This one ran good. No issues with it. Didn't have problems with controls or anything like that, but we'll get into that business later. So I can say on anything like that, 32-bit derivatives, Ubuntu, running the proprietary NVIDIA drivers, you can probably be safe and assured you're going to get a 4 chair out of me. J-Man.
So I gave this the business on the AMD A10 5800K Steam box I have sitting in the living room, and this AMD 1090T powered 670 superclock powered Fedora 20 box. Actually, they're both Fedora 20 64-bit. No issues with any of them on the TwinView multi-monitor setup on the NVIDIA. Nothing on the big TV. No issues. So I'm going to give that 4 chairs.
So I guess I was the only one who had issues. Actually, on my old desktop, 10-year-old desktop PC with an NVIDIA 7600, it didn't seem to do anything special. It adjusted the resolution properly, and it worked. No problems there. But on my laptop, with a 5650 HD AMD graphics chip, on Corora 20 32-bit, it forced my external monitor into 1080p, and I usually keep that at 1440 by 900 because at 1080p it has some serious refresh rate issues, and as soon as I start the game, 1080p, everything's blurry, and I'm like, fuck this game. I thought that maybe at this point the Unity guys would have fixed this shit, but I guess not. 3 chairs for me.
All right, so Pedro throws a monkey wrench in our finely old machine, brings it down to 3 chairs from Makes With The Working. Up next is Shiny and Sounds. Then, did this tickle your eyes and ear, pussies?
Eyes and ear pussies aside, let's take a bit of a look at the video. And the first thing I'm looking at this, when it first showed up in my eye organs, I was like, this reminds me, animation style, a lot of And Yet It Moves, with the play characteristics of Dust and Elysian Tale on a budget. The sounds are there, kind of meh on that, as far as when it comes to interesting, and maybe they were going for something with the graphical style. Maybe they were. And maybe that train left out of Noteville and screeched it in Mach 9 over my head. Because I didn't get it. I was like, yeah, all right. It's very cardboardy cutout, and especially with the enemies. I was like, yeah, all right. And the fucking little, I guess they're supposed to be bees. I don't know.
I thought they were like airplanes.
Man,
Mosquitoes.
if you read Chariots of the Gods, they were space machines. So, and the sounds, put on some Slayer, didn't really care about the sounds. Ran decent enough. Didn't have any issues with, like, slow down. I think, oh, wait, I take that back, because I was lying. I get an achievement, right? We're running on a dual 770 octo-core box of business. Get an achievement, it dropped the frame rate down to about 10 frames a second until that Steam overlay disappeared. So, for all that, I mean, I wasn't impressed by the style of it. Then again, I might not be getting it, but on top of, like, every time you unlock something, you're like, fuck all, I hope I'm not doing anything important, because... And this is running the latest NVIDIA drivers with the beta ones, so you take that for what it's will. I'm going to have to give this 2 chairs, which is kind of a meh. Not necessarily bad, but J-Man...
more dismissive than anything. Yeah, I basically have to agree with Olive and stuff. I didn't have any of the Steam overlay issues, but yeah, the cardboard cutout type animations don't really mesh all that well. It's very clumsily animated. Could definitely use maybe another couple months.
It's weird with a high-action game like that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird with a high-action game.
Yeah, it really is. You expect there to be a lot more ebb and flow with the movement. The soundtrack is entirely forgettable. If you asked me what was playing while this game was going on, I honestly couldn't tell you. And I played this for like, what, an hour? Actually, I played this for an hour before we started recording. And yeah, I honestly don't remember what the hell was going on with the music. Yeah, visually, I can see what they were going with the art style, but certainly needs some more work on the animation. So it's not stab my eyes out terrible, but it's not deserving of 3 chairs, so it gets the 2.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I don't hate the either the audio or the visual assets of the game. Visually, it's very reminiscent of a Guacamelee, for instance. It has some post-processing put into it, which puts it more into the dust camp than actual Guacamelee. But if you just look at the color palette, yeah.
English.
Take a shot.
The color palette.
Oh, actually, you know what? Take another shot.
It's it's very similar to Guacamelee, and the music can be a bit repetitive at times, but I'll give it the fact that for the most part it works for what it is. I don't hate it. The sound effects, on the other hand, oh my god, what the hell? Seriously, hitting enemies feels piss weak. If you're used to something like Dust or even Guacamelee, when you hit an enemy, the screen would shake and it would do those... Sometimes it's just those teeny tiny effects that make all the difference, but it would feel like there was actually some meat to the combat, that it was actually some force behind each punch and each kick. Here, that's not the case. So for me, 2 chairs.
2 chairs for shiny and sounds. And now Control. Then, did you feel like you're in control while you were ascending to higher planes of existence?
Well, I'm not in a deprivation tank just yet. I'm saving that for the home. Controls. Here's the thing. Use the Xbox, X-Clone, whatever you want to call it. Might as well be an Xbox controller because I got suspicions about its origin. They work, but when I say they work in the sense that, yes, you can move left, right, up, down, all that, jump and all that. But then you get to this thing I like to call dodging or blocking. Nope. I mean, J-Man will expand on this, but even in the tutorial, good on you guys for including a tutorial, because it's like, what the hell, am I doing something wrong? I'm just genuinely thinking that, do I have a delay in the USB cable into my computer's USB organ? But nay, I didn't. It persisted throughout the game. I put a serious amount of time in this business, and it's kind of money. Especially when you get into more things where you have to like meditate or whatnot, they call it, and you float around and you're trying to shoot things and all that. Then somebody's like, "Oh fuck you! Here comes something," and it's like, instant death. Then you run into the first boss, which is just there. It's there to kill you. Period. That's why you get an achievement. I was like, this is going to happen a lot. Which makes me think maybe they threw a little bit of extra fuck you hard, which is not bad if it didn't have fuck you controls. So, for that, I mean, it does work. Can't give it one jam. It did work with the X-Clone 360 controller, so we're going to give it a 2, J-Man.
So, I found the controls to be relatively tight. One thing I noticed, very reminiscent of Powerpuff Girls' Defender of Townsville. If you want to dash, it's a different bumper button for each dash, which really upsets me because I'm used to just facing a direction, hitting a dash button, and going in that direction. That makes a reasonable amount of sense, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's how dashing has worked for millions of years and seems to work fine. I don't know why you feel the need to mess with the formula. But yes, blocking. Blocking is more of a suggestion than an actual command. To the best of my knowledge, you need to block it just as it hits your hitbox. Otherwise, it does not count as a hit and you take the damage. Which, actually, whilst fighting the Maw, I was able to get him down to about half health just by blocking, because I was on a lucky streak. And then I tried to block it again, and I died. Yeah, there's also some other issues. You find that you can infinitely air juggle people and like literally fly to the top of the map just by holding up and mashing Y while you're fighting an enemy. Maybe they should have had some limits on there.
Well, Dust did the same thing.
Dust had a limit, and you had to like fly around and shit too. And Dust also like had some sort of particle effect to sort of indicate that you're under the crazy power of the sword or whatever. This, not so much. It's just like, whoop, and you finally
you are a demigod, supposedly.
You are a demigod. Hear me, children of Cain. The controls are not horrible. They certainly have some issues. Would like to see them fixed. I was gonna give it 3 chairs, but now that I think about it, I'm gonna give it 2. Hail Satan!
Hail Satan!
All right, P-Man.
And for me, there's one gripe I have with video games. The one gripe I've always had with video games, and it's that I don't have 2 symmetrical hands. I'm left-handed because, I got fingers on my left hand. And when a game does not allow me to rebind controls, it's usually not looking at a good chair score. And, okay, maybe I'll give it a pass if it allows or it has a sensible controller layout. I got my PS2 DualShock 2 here. If you have a controller that's not an Xbox controller, the game simply refuses to properly detect your controller. The key layout is all over the place. And in the day and age where SDL2 is actually a thing, and you can easily implement it for free, you don't have to pay anything for it, it's doing it wrong on purpose. And I guess I should count myself lucky because most of the people I know that played this game on Windows, they couldn't even get their controllers to work. So the fact that mine even sort of remotely worked is I should count myself lucky. Unfortunately, this game does not share some of my luck because it only gets 1 chair for controls.
Uh-oh. Well, that's a revised score of 1 chair for the control segment. That's not good. Way to tip the average, Pedro. But yes, our last subjective category, and to remind you, we are 3 different people on 3 very radically different sets of hardware, running 3 different distributions, really 2, because Corora doesn't count. So, this is our subjective category.
It's different from 64-bit.
Mixed with the fun. Now we're going to be talking about fun. Now, we picked this up. Now, definitely got to scream at the guys because I was in the process of sending everyone keys for this, with a meager little budget that we actually have hidey holed away. And after I sent P-Man a key, I bought a key, I was getting ready to send J-Man a key. P-Man writes back, and I was like, oh, of course, they sent us 3 keys for it.
About 10 minutes after you sent me the key.
Right. I was like, my first thought, I was like, Guacamelee does something fancy art style. Yeah, it's going to be kind of fun. Can't say it was. I hate this because, I've read the backstory. This is like the first game and all that. And this business kind of kills me. The animation is just jarring. It's not original. And it's, as I first thought, I was like, oh, this is dust on a budget. Somebody looked at that game and said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. Being a Unity game, with the frame drops, with the control issues, I mean, seriously, the blocking thing is just completely fucked. I mean, anyone outside of a 9-year-old who has YOLO swag, sitting there chilling out for 13 fucking hours a day, is going to get that perfectly down, because I sit there. And yes, I'm old man Vin, but come on. Seriously, you hit a button, it should block, but the pixel space, she's like, oh, you're dead. Oh, you're dead. And that's brilliant, and I don't mind the idea of fuck you hard, but when you include busted controls, not really busted, just a bit shit. I'm not going to give it a 1, because I kind of had fun playing it. I like the idea with the mini-maps and all that, and you kind of keep track of what you're doing. Didn't give fuck all about the story, if there was one. Not really sure, because it didn't entertain me enough. But that's enough to give it. I'll give it a 2. I'll definitely give it a 2, not a 1, because there's something to it. Maybe it can be improved upon. J-Man?
Yeah, really, my main problem with this game is that there are actually a lot of good ideas in place. They're just implemented very, very poorly. And maybe this was a bit above the developer's head. Maybe this is the first real game they made.
It is.
Didn't really think about. Yeah, it is. So.
Yeah, it is, and they even have.
So I don't want to fault them too much, but ultimately this game suffers from being very forgettable. The soundtrack, I can't even remember what the hell it is. I have trouble recalling the graphics because they're so bland and they're just so blocky and cardboard. And yes, oh my god, the blocking. For a game that pretty much requires you to play defensively, you need to properly implement a blocking system. Otherwise, you're just going to die again and again and
it's
again.
It's like everything's easy except for blocking. Then it's like, oh.
Yeah, everything is very easy. Like the enemies go down faster than a 2-cent Vietnamese prostitute.
Racist.
Yeah, it's I kind of want to like this game. The developers are coming from a very good place, and I think if they keep at it, they would be able to make some very good games in the future. So keep at it, devs. I don't absolutely hate this game. I had to put it down after a while just because it was getting a bit too monotonous. But I'll give it 2 chairs because it's not god awful.
Yeah, here's the thing. If I have to spend most of my time doing mental exercises to remind myself of what the key bindings are, because for some reason on my PS2 DualShock controller, usually the cross is to jump. That's the staple. That's how it's been for years. In this game, the triangle is the jump button. The cross is the regular attack. The circle is the block key, and square is the one to launch the enemies. doesn't really make a lot of sense. You have games like, give you an example of roguelite games. You've got Rogue Legacy. You've got it's not exactly a roguelite, but it's a Metroidvania type game like Dust.
Dungeons of Dreadmore.
Those have sensible layouts. They make sense.
Hey, man, why would you need to change your layouts again? I keep forgetting.
Because, there's kind of a limitation of where
now stick it in
this
your
particular
mouth.
hand stretches.
Stick it in your mouth again.
So just imagine shooting spells in this game. For me, I'd have to hold down the right analog stick, put it all the way down, and then push the cross button. Now, I dare any of the devs to try and play a game like this. No, I'm sorry. For me, it gets one chair for the fun because I had none. I like roguelite games. I like roguelikes. This was a bad one. I'm sorry.
All right, and with Pedro tipping the scales downwards, it gets a big one chair for fun. And if we tally up all our scores, looks like Pedro's negativity has weighed Ascent down to a one chair game. But I'm going to throw an asteroid at the end of it, just because this is their first attempt. They certainly have some good design ideas. They just need to improve.
Yeah, it was their first game, but they also ran a Kickstarter, which was successful. So you'd think that maybe perhaps those $11,000 they got out of their Kickstarter would have been enough to polish the game.
Well,
maybe.
Actually, when you bring that up, I didn't know it was only funded at 11,000 wet stinky caches. That's extremely low.
Yeah, it is. They said they only needed to finish the game.
No, it was for 11,000. That's a decent game for 11,000. I'll give it that for what it is. And again, we kind of already bought it, and they was like, hey, there's some free keys. And I was like, we'll probably do a contest or something with those. And which we will. We'll give everyone a chance to experience this. It's not horrible. You're not going to hate yourself at the end of the day. Playing this game, you're not going to find yourself in a shower crying like you normally do.
Singing Celine Dion.
Actually, I like to sing the Star Spangled Banner backwards. It's kind of my thing. A lot of mayonnaise, and sometimes Airwolf shows up. But with the controller support, especially with that blocking, it was just like the one key thing that I almost forgot about until J-Man, threw that back in my brain pussy. And just, that sucks. Sometimes that will get you killed to death. J-Man, should we buy it? Should we not buy it?
I would say if this goes on sale for like $2, buy it to support the devs. They clearly put some work into it.
There's some love in this game.
And this is their first game. I think they're coming from a good place. They have some good ideas. They just need practice.
A lot of practice. And for the love of... start using SDL. Cut the shit. Unity's controller detection has always been shit. SDL, it's free. Come on.
So, some people gotta hate us, man.
Yeah, coming up next, hashtag YOLO swag money.
9,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Hate Mail. Just a quick reminder, if you'd like to get in touch with us, just go on over to LinuxGameCast.com, push that nice little contact button on the nav bar there, fill out your name, fill out your email, give us a subject, give us your message, prove you're smarter than a bot, maybe, and we'll be happy to feature your hate in our show. Although, if you are trying to promote a Kickstarter, or Indiegogo, or even Steam Greenlight, well, that's still going, if you're trying to promote any sort of crowdfunding, crowdsourcing thing, make sure to include a playable Linux prototype, demo, alpha, whatever, with your email. Because if you don't, well, I'm sorry, we're not going to feature your shit. Capiche? All right.
I don't
Ven,
understand.
apparently
You're going to need to
someone's
repeat
been...
that again, but slower and with your mouth more
With
open.
more YOLO swag.
Yes, Jeff Frymark says, if you've ever used hashtag YOLO in another LGC, I'm not surprised that people send you hate mail. Hashtag YOLO.
Hashtag swag.
Swag, 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 swag. I'm the best.
Swag, swag, swag.
I'm the best.
I'm the best. Next.
No, I mean, that's definitely the thing. I know, I kind of want to mention that. I mean, that's the joke.
That's the joke.
That's kind of the whole thing. But, up next, Justin Crowley right here is, Vin, your American accent is very good. You're either British or Aussie, comma, question mark. Yes. So up next.
And of course, Mad King Corduroy.
Oh.
He emails in and he has some complaining to do about his lawn. He says,
Oh,
well,
really?
this guy's a bit of a prick. I mean, seriously, this is a great game and a classic. You expected
Well,
bells
what's he
with
talking about?
Oh, he's actually talking about Avengers. Fancy graphics and no gameplay. I hate to disappoint you. This is not COD. Really, though, what is with all these younger kids and hating on old games for the graphics? It's not like watching Metropolis or the Battleship Potemkin because it's a silent film in black and white. For the life of me, I will never understand these people.
COD? Really? You mentioned COD to a Linux gaming podcast? Really?
Yeah, we played Call of Duty.
You do know that it's the next game getting ported to Linux on Steam. You know how Valve...
Both of you are heretics because we've all played Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, we have
That
played
we
Call
have.
of Duty.
So that's the thing. I mean, it kind of blew my mind when we were talking about this. It's like, well, there's a bit of a prick. It's kind of hard to make fun of clowns now, isn't it? We fully admit, all of us, a prick. I don't even know what a prick is in your fuck-mothering language. But another thing I'm saying, what guy? I mean, it's a three-person panel, and that's how we review games. Another thing, you know how I know. You didn't watch the fuck-mothering review. We're, I think I'm 33. Not positive on that. Carbon dating. 27-ish?
Yeah. Gonna be 28 later this year.
And 25-ish?
Something like that.
Not exactly the YOLO crowd, but then again, I'm solid with getting off your lawn. Sorry we pissed off you and this game from 1998 that the developers sent us keys for because they wanted our take on it. And we had good things to say about it, and we're looking forward to the HD remake. P-Man, you got any thoughts on that? YOLO Swag 9000?
Yeah. Hashtag YOLO swag. So
YOLO
I
swaggins.
think we may have pooped all over someone's favorite game. That, or he's too worried playing White Knight for devs who keep,
I can't
perpetuating-
imagine, because it was released in 1998, and I'd already went full Linux in 98, so and mine wasn't really up to the task.
He seems to be playing White Knight for devs who keep perpetuating the nostalgia culture we're currently living in, and I am a bit guilty of the nostalgia thing myself, but I can admit that a game from 1998 is not going to cut it for most people nowadays, regardless of which age group they fit into.
J-Man, thoughts?
I would say that if your game is designed well, it should have a bit of a timeless quality. I mean, there's artistic direction, and then there is just working with the limitations of what you had at the time. And I mean, I can go back and play Castlevania, and that's still enjoyable. I can go back and play old Marios and whatnot, and that's enjoyable. But, oh my god, Avengers is fucking ass ugly. That thing is offensive to my eyes. It makes me want to stab them out with rusty ice picks.
It's because you never played it on vinyl.
I never played it on
Apparently.
vinyl on my PDP running original Unix. That's true. Honestly, my biggest gripe with that game is the controls are completely arsed. If it controlled decently, I would have scored that game completely different. But instead, I get like magenta or no, like I don't know, fucking yellow on green text and weird freaking claymation faces and whatnot, and just balls out controls, and I just can't enjoy a game like that. Despite the fact that it may be ambitious, it may have a very complex storyline, it may have all these merits. God damn it, I can't look at this game for more than 5 minutes.
And on that bombshell, it's time to cue the music and remind the lovely people where they can find us. I'm Vince Stoon at Vince Stoon on the Twitter nets, plus Vince Stoon on the G pluses. J-Man.
I'm Jordan Sfung. You can find me at The Burning Fool on the Twitter nets, or plus Jordan Sfung on the Google Plus, or Megapony XXX 420 on DeviantArt.
No, my name's not that much hashtag YOLO swag, but yeah, I'm Peter Mateos. You can find me at Unaccounted For on Twitter with a U, and plus Peter Mateos on Google Plus.
So I guess at the end of the day, we just need to show them our pop collars and our YOLO swag.
Well, shit.
No collar.
No collar.
No, put on those fancy
No
sunglasses. Come on.
I wear my sunglasses at night so I can't.
I actually had a shirt on the back of the chair and I removed it today, so yeah.
And that is why you fail. I'm gonna go grab a smoke.